Welcome, everybody, to an exciting new installment of everybody's favorite role-playing game show, Clumsy and Random, presented by the Jodo cast and Tostitos. Joining me this time is, per usual, Evan Lewis.
That's me. There's nowhere I'd rather be than watching Game 6 of the NBA Finals, the first possible championship for the Milwaukee Bucks in 40 years.
Are you saying you'd rather do that? Is that a thing that's happening right now?
No, I'm thrilled to be here. There's nowhere else I'd rather be.
I wasn't sure if that was a joke or you being passive aggressive, like there's a game I'd really rather be watching than playing this right now.
That's for you to figure out.
Okay, well, if it's just starting, I'm going to assume that it'll still be happening by the time we're done, because this doesn't take very long.
And NBA games take forever.
Evan, if you had an NBA team based on a Star Wars character, what would the mascot be? Or just a Star Wars themed team?
I have to go with the, what was it, Rock Slugs? Wasn't that a Hut Ball team from Old Republic? Rottweilers?
Rot dogs?
Rot dog.
No, so
There
was
you
the
go,
worms? Something worms?
Yeah, some
Rot
kind of worm
worms?
thing.
Rot worms versus frog
Some
dogs.
combination. There you go.
I do like the rot dog sounds like a Star Wars take on a hot dog, but like something that like Huts eat because it's like fermented. Get your rot dogs here. Special guest, friend of the cast is Kurt Larson is joining us today.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here at the Tokyo Olympics. Trying to keep running with Evan's bit about sports broadcasts. I don't know. I don't have anything. I'm getting warmed up for some improv playing here.
Kurt,
Just say yes.
what is the ugliest ship you've ever seen on screen in a Star Wars?
On screen, without thinking about it too hard, I'm just going to say Arc 170.
Okay.
Mm.
If I had more time to think about it, maybe I'd say something different, but that's my first thought.
They're going to say just the end of Rise of Skywalker.
There were definitely some ugly ones somewhere in there.
And our special guest is returning guest. Sunny Ravencourt is here.
Thank you.
Real name, whichever you prefer.
Or my real name, James McDonald. Thank you. I'm extremely excited to be back. This is I spent many years in college preparing for this moment. Lots of tuition. I'm pretty stoked that it's all finally coming together right now tonight.
James, if you had to name a sex position with a Star Wars theme, what would it be?
The hairy Wookiee.
All right. You are not required to describe it. So, Clumsy and Random, if you're unfamiliar, how this works is I have a huge stack of NPC cards from the Fantasy Flight role-playing game system.
/Edge Studios.
Yes, and each player will be getting 3 at random. They will choose the one that they want to be for this role-playing game session. If they don't like any of the 3 they see, they can wipe them out, all of them, and get 1 at random. That's who they are stuck with. And we'll just do a little role-playing session and make it up as we go. Okay, Evan, you're going to go first.
Oh no.
Evan, your choices are a starfighter pilot, Admiral Trench,
Whoa. Okay.
or an imperial cave trooper. Which is apparently
What's a cave
another
trooper?
type of. I mean, think of any location. There's a specialized trooper for it. There's probably like a latrine trooper.
The second floor storage closet trooper.
Cave Trooper has a flashlight, That's
A
their
flashlight
special
It
trooper.
gear.
literally does. If you can see the artwork on the card, it's just a
What?
stormtrooper with like a flashlight on his helmet.
Oh, the cave trooper. He's
Now
gotta
you're
have
a
a
cave
flashlight.
trooper. You've got a flashlight. You're good to
Got a
go.
flashlight on his head and one mounted on his gun.
So the scout troopers get to the cave and they're like, "We got to call him back up for this one. We don't have
We
any
need a
flashlights."
specialist.
Yeah, who's that guy
Send
that
in
went
the
to
cave
school
trooper.
for this?
Okay, Evan, starfighter pilot, Admiral Trench, or cave trooper?
Oh my gosh, I gotta phone a friend, and it's gonna be these two. Do I go with Admiral Trench? I mean, that's
Pretty good, but I do like the idea of the cave trooper like conducting his residency after regular stormtrooper school, being quite proud of his added
It's like,
certification.
I'm sorry, please call me when you're going to a cave. The field, no. Caves only. Man, you just sold me on that. You just sold me on it.
A lot
Okay,
of
you know what?
potential there.
First time in forever, we're not gonna wipe them out, and I'm gonna not take Spider-Man. I'm gonna take just cause he sold me on it. Sonny sold me on the cave trooper.
All right.
Got it.
Kurt, you're
Caves only.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it.
option number 1, Imperial Advisor. Option number 2, a physician.
Not even a Star Wars physician, just a physician.
Physician.
A cave physician.
Looks like someone who's, like, doesn't have a lot of faith in the fact that he trooper's dying.
Isn't that like the med pack art for Legion? And it's just like, yeah, I guess they're fine for now.
The artwork
Stim-
for emergency stims.
Emergency stims.
Like
yeah.
it's just fine.
Is a C8 saboteur droid, which kind of looks like you asked a little kid to draw a B1 battle droid.
Yeah.
Oh, kind of a weird,
Like,
chunky kind of.
What
Battle
on
droid.
earth?
one of the more
C1?
advanced models of the battle droids in use by the CIS, C8 saboteur droids operate in small independent squads apart from primary droid divisions, blah blah blah.
C8.
Imperial
I mean-
physician or saboteur droid.
The advisor kind of could go with the cave trooper, even though it's not that interesting of a guy. Should I do that, or is it worth risking a wipe them out? Is it too much to like stick to theme? Is that like limiting us, or do we need to be like crazy random?
I thought
Where does the spirit move you?
you will do what you feel is right, of course.
Is the advisor like one of the politician guys, or is it like an officer in the
I can't
art?
tell what's happening in the artwork. It looks like there's a lot of like things going on.
Oh, that
or
guy.
Swords or just
Hmm.
things flying past. One of the most insidious methods the Emperor employs to maintain control in his empire is constantly pitting his minions against one another. So just some kind of for equipment, he does have lavishly adorned robes
Ooh.
and extensive credentials and sundry personal staff.
So maybe
You have
this
minions.
guy wants to go to a cave. Yeah, let's just do the advisor. I don't want to risk a wipe them out because I don't want to be an animal. You know, I know there's animals in the deck.
Oh,
All right. Last up, James Sunny. Your first choice is an Imperial debt stab agent. I feel like we've had this one before. Maybe it's come up, but we didn't use it. The
Destabilization.
branch. So guys with like manual saws that go and saw like halfway through a tree or a foundation of a house just to make it a little wobbly. The destabilization branch.
Right.
The most evil of all Imperial facets. Ensure that sufficient fear and terror grips the galactic populace. Okay. Option number 2.
Mm-hmm.
A Republic fleet officer.
Mm.
And your last choice. So I think Admiral Trench was the spiciest one we've got so far. An IGRM series enforcer droid. which are
Well,
the Vizagos dudes.
yeah. I'm not interested in him. The destabilization one is an interesting one. We're gonna roll it.
All right.
Whoa!
Wipe them out.
Oh,
I'm going to run my fingers
Oh,
up the deck, and
lovely.
you are going to say stop. Ready, go.
Stop.
A diplomat.
okay.
It doesn't have to be, but if you need help, the art is an Ethorian guy.
Oh.
Okay. All right. I am a diplomat.
just keep invoking diplomatic immunity everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what's happening here is, does anyone know what the planet Lagobah is like? Because I don't, but it sounds like a place with a cave.
Could be, because I saw that name in Alphabet Squadron, maybe, but it's one of those name drops where they don't explain it at all right. So it's just like
It's like the nice version of Dagobah.
Did you mean Dagobah? No.
Yeah.
But I can understand why you would ask me that.
Yeah. It's like Joe Montana was a quarterback. I said Joe Montana. Like that.
All of you are actually in the same party, for once, and you're not running into each other after the fact. You have, so the diplomat has gone, he's ahead, he's been on the planet, we'll call it, Lagobah.
they've got one with every letter at the start because they ran out of names. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
F it wasn't a popular one. But Lagobah, there's a lot of like Danish toy makers there. The diplomat
It's
has
very
been ahead.
blocky,
There are
rectangular.
there are a lot of caves on the planet, and the native populace was never part of the Republic, and but they were just kind of. So the diplomat is there, and he's trying to explain why the Empire is cool because it's such like a not worth it planet that they don't want to send in troops if they don't have to. Because if they can convince them to join the Empire, that's easier than sending in stormtroopers. So the diplomat's been there. The talks have not been going well. So an Imperial advisor and a cave trooper, this kind of Bear Grylls stormtrooper who knows everything about caves, is accompanying him, and the diplomat is meeting them at the landing platform, and that's where we find ourselves. It's overcast.
Yes, soldier, good soldier. I'm so glad to have you here to help me navigate these caves on this planet. Otherwise, I would surely get lost. I'm good at advising, but not at spelunking.
Crocky, I can't wait to get into these caves. I'm just gonna get in there and get my arm straight up in those caves. It's gonna be great.
You hadn't spoken before now, but that's what your voice sounds like.
What is this? What are you two doing here? I asked for a whole garrison to be sent here so that we could take this planet. Who are you two?
Oh, trust me,
You've never heard of the cave troopers? These are some of the finest soldiers in the entire Imperial Legion. They're worth 100 troops on their own.
Troopers means plural. There is one dude here, and he looks like a regular trooper with a flashlight.
Well, here's the thing about this flashlight. You go and you get in the cave and you're like, I can see in you, cave. You're not dark anymore. Then you're like, right, let's get in there. Let's get stuck in and get in this cave and get all the bats out. And we're going to get in there. We're like, yeah.
You have
Caves.
any concept of what a diplomatic mission is? Do you think that we are negotiating with the local population in a cave?
Well, I'll tell you, have you ever been to the cave planet? I don't remember the name of it, because that's what they just call it. Just call it Cave World. Like, go down, and there's nothing but caves. There's no outside. It's all cave. You go in, and it's like, it's so dark. It's like, I wish I had a flashlight.
Okay,
But then you
flashlight,
do have a
pipe down here.
flashlight.
At least this guy's got robes. What are you supposed to do? I mean, you two are replacing a whole garrison I assumed was going to take over the planet. So I guess I'm going to have to bring you in. At least you've got the robes on. What's your story here, Reverend?
Well, I know exactly what to tell the local populace to get them in line. It just takes a few sweet words of honey or of spice to incite them to exactly
And you
what
know
we
where you
need.
find honey and spice in caves? The spice caves of Tatooine are just crazy. Have you ever been in there? And you put your honey on your hand, you stick your hand in there, and it's like getting spice all up on you. You gotta get in the caves. Come with me. You don't have to worry about caves again.
Here,
Okay.
show him the light thing. Do the light on and off. It's very bright. You haven't seen the light yet.
Are you ready?
Right in my eyes.
See?
That is a bright
Yes.
flashlight.
Yeah,
Put
hit it
Orion
once,
down.
It goes, it's on.
Ah, I can. Will you
flashing.
stop doing that?
It's red.
That's it.
It's off.
Fine. I don't know if you're talking about cooking or drugs or what. You're clearly going to leave me for the first cave you see. So let's just get in here and we'll see what we can do. I got very, very low bar here. So come on.
So you guys wander into the kind of the biggest cave entrance that was near the landing pad. You just lucked out. There was a giant moth going towards the light it saw, but then by the time it got there, it was gone, so it flew away. But you don't know that. It's just kind of one of those things. You don't know how close you just came to being killed by a giant moth. So you enter the cave, and there's actually, it's not bright, but there is artificial illumination in there because that's where the people of this planet tend to live, or at least some of them. The populace is primarily Chadrofan. And one of them kind of walks up, and he's kind of like the mayor of this sector of caves. And he goes up to the diplomat and kind of tugs on his sleeves like, these are new friends?
Yeah, 1 second. Guys, I apologize. We really are negotiating in a cave. So I take that back. That's on me. That was my fault. Yes, sir. This is my personal cadre. This is
Nice to meet you,
flashlight. This is flashlight, and this is bathrobes.
Oh, Padre bathrobes.
Will you turn that off? Not in his face, for God's sakes.
Hold on. I'm gonna need a second to let my eyes.
Yeah,
readjust.
I'm so sorry about that. He really can't control himself. It was some pretty intense training in the Empire, and that's kind of his. He's a one-trick pony.
Is he peeing into the bottle? Is that
Who can say?
Apparently.
He has very
I'm feeling
specialized,
right now.
very specialized survival training. So whatever he's doing, I'm sure it's necessary to live down
I
here.
learned early on, you gotta prepare for cave life. You know what cave life is? You can see this in the whole of it. You gotta make sure you're prepared for anything. So what you do is you pour out all of your clean water, you replace it with your own urine because it's cleaner than what you've been drinking up on those spaceships this whole time.
Hey, flashlight, are you seriously telling the people that live in the caves how to live in caves here?
They don't have the training that
what?
he has. I think
Exactly, he knows what he's talking about.
Okay.
See, we're on the same wavelength here.
You hear some laughter, some kind of snickering, and you look up, and there's a bunch of other Chadrofan hanging from the ceiling by their feet, and they're just kind of giggling.
Now, what you see here, if you look above
God!
you've got
Sorry.
some Chadrofan, they're in the mating season right now. Now you got to
Mating
be
season?
careful because they're just gonna let their bowels loose upon you at any moment's notice. So you just got to be careful about where you're going.
You hear a little splat, and there's another little splat, and then like a big kind of white blob hits the Chadrafan on the head, and he goes, "Looks like shit just hit the Chadrafan." Am I right?
I take the bottom of Bathrobe's robes and I wipe it off.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna extend a nice umbrella to shield myself.
Yeah, and then as you do that, there's kind of like a little downpour that lasts about 5 seconds. You hear a sigh of relief from everyone on the ceiling. The guy on the ground with you, he checks his watch. He's like, "Yep, it's that time." If you want to scrape any of this stuff up, I mean, this is our main export. You can make bowls.
Really?
Yeah, you can make bowls. You can make ceramics out of it, really.
Ceramics, huh? And is that pretty lucrative, would you say? A lot of markets out there for the Chadrafan waste bowls?
I mean, we call them guano bowls.
We know.
It's... I mean, times have been hard. People haven't been buying like they used to.
You know, and those hard times are kind of why we're here. We would really like to extend the helping hand of the Empire, and I know that our talks have not been going well. So I have brought in a couple specialists here to really explain what the Empire can do specifically for your people. Bathrobes, why don't you go first here and just kind of explain all of the benefits that you can bring to this planet. Maybe not personally, but like more as an imperial representative. I believe that's what you do, right?
Why don't we step into my office? Let's get.
Oh, is it another cave?
I mean, it's part of the same cave. It's just a little deeper.
So it's a darker cave. Well, I mean, again, this is excellent for us because we have brought a specialist who has a wide variety of ways to illuminate dark caves.
You see my character literally just sitting there shaping bowls from all the turds that have just dropped.
We might need those later, so...
The mayor guy ushers you a little bit deeper into like kind of a side room. There's not much in there. There's some stalagmites and tights that cover both my bases. Then it doesn't matter. There's a few on the ground that are kind of maybe like 2 to 3 feet high. He just sits straight on the ground in some mud, and he gestures to the ones on the ground, and he's like, "Feel free to have a seat. Make yourself comfortable."
The local fashion, I suppose. And he sits down.
I feel like we should roll for this.
Okay. What kind of check?
Roll. Let's see. How about...
I'm just watching him sit down just to see how this plays out. Like, I'm absolutely going to let him take one for the team here.
There's like a resilience or something. Isn't that a skill?
I was gonna say it's either like something charisma or something dexterity, whichever you choose.
I would like dexterity to see how dexterous he can be while sitting on a stalactite.
I think we're going to go for that. Plus, depending on the results of that, there might need to be some kind of like decorum check. See how well he hides it.
Custom skill, decorum.
So...
Coordination is like a balance, agility type thing.
Okay, well...
Yeah, can you sit on a spike?
Your skills are charm, coercion, deception, knowledge, negotiation, perception, skullduggery, vigilance. So...
Knowledge caves.
None of those are going to help you, so just roll 2 green and 2 purple.
Okay. I succeeded.
But with a threat. So you've managed to take a seat there. You are very uncomfortable. It is reminding you that you are overdue for your prostate exam. but that's besides the point. Do a
Point.
charm. You kind of wince, but you're trying to, be polite. So do a charm to see if he notices that you're uncomfortable. This will be.
I've got charm 4, which is presence.
Oh, wow, you got.
I've got presence 4, so that's 4 yellow.
Yeah, 4 yellow against 2 purple because he's not very.
Wow.
You fail. He notices your discomfort, but your advantages. He goes, "Oh, you could. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. Get up. Here, take this." And he gives you a little knife that lets you trim off the top so it's flat. It's like, I can't. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you this. Here you go. This should be more comfortable.
And I hand the knife to the cave trooper to let him do his duty. Because he knows how to carve stalactites.
Into chairs.
I take the knife and like, croaky, I haven't seen one of these things in forever. And I start whittling quickly at the nearest stalagmite. And I'm just like whittling. And before you know it...
That sounds like a dice roll.
Yeah, it does.
Let's see how,
it sure does.
You're attempting to whittle a chair out of a stalagmite.
Yep.
Do you want to call that?
I like
it. Give me agility.
Okay, you do have athletics. So make that yellow, green versus
3 perps
and a black. Black because you're a little queasy from.
But maybe a blue because he knows so much about stalactites from his special training.
Yes, I like that. Throw in a blue.
Wow, so generous tonight. Hey-oh, I've got 2 success and a threat. Is that what that is?
Yep.
Yes.
So I succeed. I whittle myself, like the equivalent of like the chair that's just 3 sticks and a piece of leather, but made out of stalagmites.
The threat is that it's not level. So when you offer it to the diplomat to sit on, he is constantly sliding slowly to the side and has to keep readjusting himself.
There you go. Put your backside on one of these boys. You'll never want to sit on a regular chair again.
I got to be totally honest with you. That was shockingly impressive out of you. I'm starting to understand where that 3 years of cave residency really paid off for you.
Government training is the best for everyone. That's what I'm always saying.
Yes, and as you can see, this is the kind of stuff that the Empire's really all about.
Oh,
it's all about self-reliance. Can you make a chair out of whatever you can find in nature? Because that's really what the Empire taught me. When I was back home, I was just like trying to change the axles on me own little treadwheel droid, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then the Empire got a hold of me and they're like, no, I'll tell you what's going on. And they were like, change my life.
Yes, thank you, Flashlight. It's really not about self-reliance as much as it is about reliance on the Empire. Again, but having said that, he does raise some points, I guess. Where were we in these talks?
Well, you had this is this is the first time you've even come into our caves. You were kind of hesitant before, so we really hadn't made too much progress. You had mentioned that the Empire would give us houses above ground, well,
the Empire can help you earn houses above ground. Of course, it would mean nothing to get a house if anyone got one. That's why the Empire will train you and put you to work, and you can generate value, which you can use to get a house.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and that sounds kind of neat. But we do sort of generate our own value whenever we do a number 2, because then we can sell it.
Yes, and the Empire does have a lot of interest in this. I'm going to come clean with you here.
Oh, the Empire wants to buy our shit.
Yes, see...
Oh, now we're talking. He leans forward a little bit.
It turns out that your droppings, I'll just call them droppings, are...
Culturally, we prefer the term guano.
Absolutely. Your guano is an excellent lubricant for starfighter engine pieces. And frankly, we've been around the whole galaxy, and there really isn't anything better than Lagobah Chadrafan dropping guano for lubricating a starship engine. So this is why we are here. Now, we would love to bring you the glory of the Empire and the kind of specialized training that you really are seeing on display here. This could all be yours if you simply agree to let us militarily occupy your planet into the foreseeable and likely forever future.
I click through the flashlight settings as he's saying this.
This is like a strobe setting of like a color tints. Huh. Well, we'd have to talk to the planetary council. I mean, I'm just the mayor of this cave. I don't really have much say on this planet overall.
But if you showed true loyalty to the Emperor, you might get a free promotion to, like sub under assistant Moff, and jump right up to the top there if you play your cards right.
We don't play cards on this planet. It's pretty I mean, we don't like gambling.
Well, the Empire's really not a gamble. What we're offering you is a chance to maybe rise above your station here. We're looking for somebody to represent our interests.
Hold on. Okay, continue.
We're looking for somebody to represent our interests in, say, this conversation with the planetary decision makers. I think it would go a long way to have somebody in our corner. Wouldn't you say, Bathrobes?
Yes, of course. It always helps to have a local voice to help things make sense to the populace. If we have to, we can make things make sense, such as with our cave trooper here. He can crack some sense in if we need to, but it's just a little easier if you can convince them, in the local language or whatever. So you probably can, the idioms,
Okay, I mean, we can go meet them. I think their office hours are soon.
How many caves away are they?
Oh, they're just one cave over. I mean, they're in this cave, but like just deeper.
It's a small planet, isn't it?
I don't know. I've never really looked at it.
Oh, it just seems to be an awful coincidence that the people running the entire planet happen to be within walking distance of our diplomatic meeting in this particular cave. But
they
nonetheless,
small planets breed small species. The Emperor says that.
Yes, I hear him say that often.
But here's the thing.
Know the Emperor? You think I can?
Oh, Sure. The emperor really likes to personally greet local mayors of any of the tens of thousands of planets in the empire. I'm sure that he could carve out some time for
You
you.
think he'd like a guano ball? We can even like monogram it.
He
Emperor.
he loves collectibles, artifacts from local cultures.
I heard
Sure.
about this one time that the Emperor and Darth Vader were in a cave together. I think they were on Ryloth, and they were like, "We're stuck in a cave. We're gonna die." And the Emperor was like, "Nah, no, we're not. All we gotta do is get out of this cave and find those Twi'leks and shove my fist up the butthole, and there you go. Bob's your uncle."
Yes. Yeah, a great story. Thank you for that, Flashlight.
I like that.
Perhaps we should start walking now.
I like that story, Flashlight. I mean, that's something that we do on this planet sometimes when people aren't producing enough.
I did not know that.
I'll take you to the council. So he waddles out, and you guys follow him, being careful not to get dripped on by any of the other people hanging from the ceiling. And he takes you deeper, and it gets darker and darker and narrower, and you've got a couple points you got to get on your hands and knees to crawl through some tight gaps that were easy for him because he's small, but there's a point where there was like a deep chasm. You had to kind of shimmy along an edge. Very things that maybe we should have done dice rolls for, but we won't. And then you crawl through one more tiny hole, and it opens up into the largest cave you've ever seen, full of bioluminescent fungus and mushroom that are really illuminating this thing quite well. There are almost skyscrapers. They look to be made of plastic modular bricks, but there is basically an entire city hanging from the ceiling. You can see people bustling, more Chadrafan. It looks like some of them like hang from ceilings of things, and some of them are walking normally, so you're not too concerned about having to climb on the ceiling. But it's a huge, bustling metropolis. There's like monorails. There is like a bright tower in the middle, and he points to it and he goes, "That's where the council is."
Wow. You built all this on a guano economy.
I didn't. We just make the bowls. They kicked us out months ago. That's why we live in that other cave near the entrance.
What do they make in here?
Oh, they make all sorts of stuff. They make they mine, what's it called? There's some kind of explosive gas they mine down they there's some kind of crystal that they chip off the walls that grows back. They use to do kind of laser operations, mining things, all sorts of crazy stuff like that. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know why you'd want crystals and combustible gases and things like that when you could make bowls out of your own poop.
I lean over the bathrobes and I say, I think we may have bet on the wrong bantha here.
And he would just be like, yes, those crystals, we could buy them, but they don't sound worth very much. So, you won't make much off of them, but we could take them off your hands just to get rid of them, probably.
Are you crazy? Those dilithium crystals are crazy good. You can put... What? They're insane. They can power an entire warp core. What are you talking about?
Shut it, Flashlight. Anyways,
He doesn't know about crystals. He only knows about stalactites. It's totally different. Don't listen to him.
it could be the depth getting to him. It could be. So where are we going?
Yeah.
We're gonna go see the council. They're in the bottom of that tower hanging from the ceiling over there. They run the planet. They might not be too happy to see me.
And why would they not be happy to see you?
I mean, they're the ones who banished me and my family. You know, the guys who saw on the ceiling back there. They kicked us out a few months back.
Okay. Banished. And do I dare ask why you were banished?
I was trying to sell them our family trade bowls, and they did not like it. Especially because they were, okay, you're gonna love this. It was pretty crazy. One day, so I saw High Councilman Fangmouth. That's what we call him. He was walking down the street.
Is that a family name, the Fangmouths, or is that just?
Yes.
I understand.
Well, it's a subfamily. It's things.
I'm just trying to get a lay of the land. I assume that I will meet a high councilman Fangmouth at some point. So, please go on, please.
Maybe. He can't talk well. It hurts when he closes his mouth. But so one day I saw him. He was, getting it was very warm. We were by the geothermal pools. We generate a lot of geothermal here. Excess, I guess I've heard them say that there's more energy generated here than we could ever use in 1,000 cycles, but I don't know. But so I was gonna give him one of my bowls because I liked what he was doing, in government, because he tweets good. Tweets are a thing we have here. And well, the darndest thing is, these bowls, it hadn't finished curing because I was so eager to give it to him, and when it's around that much heat, it starts to melt. And he had it, and he thought it was a hat, not a bowl. I forgot to clarify that it was a bowl, not a hat, because some people like hats around here. It helps to wear a helmet now and then when you're in a cave. And one thing led to another, and one of the cave beasts tried to take his head off to get at the bowl.
I see. And this is going to potentially be problematic, isn't it, for us?
Well, after the attack, he does have a hard time with memory, I've heard. So maybe he doesn't remember it. Or me.
Oh! Excellent. Well, shall we meet him?
Yeah. I'd be curious to see if he remembers me. I mean,
I would also.
Okay, well, you guys embark into the city, and now you're kind of on this kind of market street. Think the Ring of Catherine from Rogue One, but everything is a lot more Lego brick looking and cave looking, and everybody is Chadrafan, and everything's everything's kind of waist high on you guys, because things aren't obviously built for 2-meter high people. A lot of ducking under things. Everybody, as you walk by, is giving your guide strange looks.
Perhaps. How many people saw this incident with the hat and the beast attack?
All of them.
Perhaps a disguise would be in order. Could you...
Bathrobes, you've got a large cadre of things in this luggage that you seem to be dragging along with you. What could you put on this individual here to help him out for the Empire, of course?
Yes, maybe some finery would help our case, young Chadrafan, whose name I didn't catch. Perhaps a nice... I think I have a scarf tucked away in one of these pockets. Pull out. If you wrapped your face up with this, that's the imperial style. Just wrap it all the way around your face, and just your eyes peek out. Maybe
yes, it's quite breathable. You should be fine. Just like breathing. Yes, that's quite in style.
By the way, my name is Lou.
Lou, yes. Lou, you look spectacular. You really do. Doesn't he look great, Flashlight?
He looks like he's ready to get right up in the cave and forget all his worries and all his thoughts for today and just be like, I'm living in a cave for the rest of my life.
Yes, that was exactly what I was thinking also. So I think we're ready. I think we're ready to meet the mayor. You look great. We look great. Flashlight's excited. I think we're good to go.
Let's give him the hard sell.
Okay, fast forward to the outside of the council chambers. There are guards there ready to meet you. They have you've just noticed signs that have your Lou's face on them with like wanted, and you get to the chambers, the three of you, and then this little guy with like a toilet paper wrapped head.
Are the guards on the ground, or are they like walking on the
there's,
ceiling?
You know what? There's a little bit of both.
Okay.
They're gripping the ceiling, like jungle bars on the ceiling. They're grabbing with their feet. They all have little stone spears. No, they got Lego spears. Like picture a Lego spear, but scale it up.
Right. Hail, good Chadrafan. We are from the Empire. This is our representative, Fred. From above.
My name's Lou.
No, it's Fred. Definitely Fred, Star Killer. And we seek an audience with the General High Council. Please. Flash him with the flashlight. Give him the flashlight.
The guards
Turn on the flashlight.
They're like
Running through. Yeah. This one's a strobe. Let's do it.
They're just like kind of keeled over, vomiting right now.
Sorry, you need some of the red light. Here you go. Put on the red light.
When the
These,
red light hits them, they just kind of freeze like a deer.
I've heard you can walk the streets for money with this red light.
We're gonna
I don't know
slowly
where that comes
creep
from.
by as flashlight keeps like, but we're sort of like all back to each other now as the approach has now changed. That we are just going to move past these guys at this point.
Oh,
Since they've
crikey, I just remember what they told me in training. You don't have to put on the red light.
no, keep the red light on, please.
Yes, I think this is
Okay, red
good.
light.
The seizures they're having, that's like the local custom for welcoming us. So
don't look into the light, Lou. Don't look into the light.
Just put it away. Yeah.
Oh!
Maybe just wrap the scarf over your eyes, and we'll just
Falls on
lead
his
you.
face. And he's
Okay.
just seizing.
I'll just grab the scarf and just like drag him by
You're
it.
dragging.
We're now dragging Lou.
Yes. The doors whoosh open, and you find yourselves in the High Council chambers. There's a couple of them sitting on stalagmites with that have not been whittled. There's a couple hanging from the ceiling. There's maybe like there's about 3 on the ceiling and 3 on the bottom, and they're just kind of looking at their phones. And they look up when you come in. There's one with very, very large fangs that are like clearly like cutting into his lower lip and making him bleed. And he goes, "What is the meaning of this? Who brought non-Sadrafan here?"
Greetings, Sir Fangmouth. I
How did
represent.
you know my name?
Well, your legend is told oft amongst the Empire. I represent the Empire. We are here to deliberate and negotiate your peaceful transition into the glorious Empire.
What have you done to that Sadrafan?
We bring you an offering here.
I have
This-
plenty of Sadrafan already.
This is true, but Bathrobes, explain the importance of this particular Chadrafan to Fangmouth's glory.
Yes, it seems this is like a wanted fugitive, and using our imperial skills, our trooper here, we captured this vile criminal and have brought him here to seek justice as, you know, a gesture of the Emperor's goodwill. Let's unravel and reveal his identity.
I grab Blue and I unravel his face and I like open his mouth up and go, look at the size of these incisors. They're crazy. You just like look at the size of these things. You can just like open his mouth up so big and like jam your fist inside of his mouth. You want to try it? He's so gentle. He's a gentle soul.
That's who I think it is.
It likely is. We've seen many pictures of him and heard a harrowing tale of his assault on your High Council.
Brother! And he runs over and hugs him and starts crying. The other council members are looking very displeased.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Flashlight. Get ready on my signal.
All right,
High Council. High Council.
Yes?
We didn't want to have to approach you this way. We are going to need all of your crystals and gases, and we ask that you comply peacefully, or we shall have to show you the might of the Empire. And then I
turn on the flashlight.
Okay, I want you to do like a ranged attack.
It's the white light.
So you have ranged heavy, which is agility 3, so yellow, green, green. I'm just using your weapon stats for your light.
That's
light.
Yes.
You have low light vision gear. You get to remove 2 black dice for checks that involve darkness.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Against, make it purple-red.
All right. 1 yellow, 2 green, 1 red, 1 purple?
Yeah.
Okie doke.
You succeed with a threat.
Wow.
So, all of the High Council, including Fangmouth, have been incapacitated and are now seizing and foaming at the mouth because of the precise pattern and colors of light that you've hit them with. The threat is, however, one of them managed to like hit the alarm. And now there's it basically sounds very high pitched. It's barely audible. Definitely some kind of squeaking noise, but it's an alarm that's going on.
If you listen carefully, you can hear the mating cry going off right now.
Yeah, flashlight. That's an alarm. Okay, you go to the door. Bathrobes, get the documents out. Come on, these guys are gonna sign this thing. And so Bathrobes and I are gonna try to get their seizing hands over and put a pen in there to try to get them to sign the documents that Bathrobes has with him in his briefcase with his luggage.
Treaties or whatever.
Okay, just any mock will do. It's legally binding. They just need to touch it with a pen. It's fine.
You managed that quite easily, except one of the council members is still, their feet clenched real tight and they're still on the ceiling. The other ones that were on the ceiling had fallen down. They're bleeding, but they're not dead, and you were able to get their signatures. But there's
just like
one stuck to
put
the
it
ceiling.
put it in his mouth. Put the pen in his mouth, and then just hold the thing up to it.
Tell him to bite down high. You don't want to bite his tongue off.
How high up is this, though? Do we need to, like, prop each other up on our shoulders?
It's just too high for one of you to do on your tippy toes.
Okay, so I bend down like in on all fours and have Bathrobes stand on top of me to try to shove a pen in this Chadrafan's mouth so that he can then scribble onto the paper.
Okay, this will be an agility check from Kurt.
Okay.
Bathrobes, you have agility 2. So do 2 green,
Okay.
2 purple, but throw in a black because it's precarious.
Okay. Okay. All dice have canceled out.
You failed, so basically you nothing bad happened, but you just kind of hop back off, like you whiffed it, but you didn't. Nobody got injured. You hear tiny little footsteps, kind of like tromping up to the door outside.
Don't
Hey,
worry, I got
Bathrobes!
this. And I try to build a door out of the guano.
So he's building a door to barricade us in. Bathrobes, get your umbrella. Use the umbrella.
Like start poking the guy to try and like knock him off.
Okay, let's see. Let's make that a brawn.
Okay. I'm not good at that either.
So 2 green. Make that 2 green and a red. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. 3 advantages.
Okay, so he's still hanging up there, but one of his feet came loose, and now he's kind of swinging back and forth, and he is a little bit lower now, so you might be able to like grab his wrist or something.
Okay. Okay.
What else have you got in that suitcase? Come on. It's huge.
I'm like digging through my luggage. Is there maybe what's another tool I could pull out that would help here? I don't know. I need
an imperial back scratcher.
luxury back scratcher for getting into his robe.
Chrome.
And so I'm going to try to stick the pen. Let's see. Because I need to get the pen. Okay. I'm going to stick the pen onto the end of the back scratcher. Reach the other end of the back scratcher up to stick into the guy's mouth. And then I'll hold the papers up and try to get them to touch in the middle.
Okay, we're gonna invent a new mechanic for this move. Essentially, what is gonna happen is you're gonna have one skill for this whole maneuver, and then we're gonna subsequently add more and more difficulty dice. So we check the first roll, then we'll add another one, and that'll see if you pass the stage 2 of this maneuver, and so on. So
You are definitely attaching the pen to the back scratcher with guano.
Exactly.
Packing that all in there and sticking a pen out the end of it.
so
And put some guano on the other end too to make sure it will stick into his mouth.
yes.
It's nature's duct tape.
So what was the next step after that?
It
Just finishing it
sticks.
to fit it into his mouth.
Yeah. So the yeah.
A yellow, green, and a purple.
Yellow, green, purple.
You
2
succeed
success.
with a threat. The threat is like it's in his mouth and it's stuck, but he's started like, even though he's still unconscious, he's like gagging now. And
It's okay. We can go fast.
Oh.
You
Okay.
just need like one mark on the
So
page.
now, the next thing is lifting the pad up there. Right? Is that-
Yeah.
So roll
I
it.
feel like I just need like a really stable platform. So maybe the diplomat needs to do like a strength check to like boost me.
Okay. Yeah, go for that. Do that.
Or brawn, whatever it's called.
Do a yellow and a green. That's it. Just yellow and a green. You succeeded. So he has boosted you up. Now, Kurt, to raise your thing up, I want you to just add one more purple, but add that to your previous roll, which was success, success, threat, threat. So just throw in one more purple.
So just roll one purple and
Yeah.
then see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is still part of the same move, another threat. So you've still succeeded. So you get the pad up there. The threat is there's like just some unidentifiable substance kind of pouring out of his mouth now. Or leaking. Kind of some mix of like bile, vomit, guano, and rabies.
Perfect. This is excellent.
You got the signature. I don't know if you're using paper or a data pad, but whatever it is definitely sullied by whatever was coming out of him.
I think that's authentic. It makes it clear we didn't fake this. It's obviously like a local thing, so it's good. You can spin this.
Local thing. Yep.
This is great. Shove it in the briefcase. Let's get out of here. Can you like whittle our way out of here or something, Flashlight?
Well, I just made the door. Just give me a second and I'll have the door down. I'll change it into a table we can take with us.
Or maybe you could use your spelunking sense to find an alternate tunnel out.
Wait. And put my fingers up to my temples, and I close my eyes, but you can't see because I'm wearing a helmet. And it's like, all right, I can feel everything in this room right now. I am one with the cave. The cave is me. Me is the cave.
Yeah, let's go.
All
Come on. Come on.
B is the cave.
What
a little
do
faster.
I sense?
You know what? Just
I'm trying to sense my way out of here.
roll a white die.
Oh, is that what we're doing? Okay.
You got nothing.
Ugh.
There was like a little hole in the like the floor, and you were like, "We're going out this way," and you stuck your foot in, and immediately got stuck. And so,
Trust me, it's the way. He's gotta push through. It's like a little anus.
We've come to the point in the show where things are forced to wrap up. What happened was you, the diplomat and the advisor just kind of decided to walk out and see what happened, and they weren't really bothered by the guys outside. The people who had run up were just like the EMTs helping out the guards who had passed out earlier. So you guys managed to slip out fine. You went back to the Empire with the papers. The Empire eventually returned with a larger force of cave troopers who you found to be just unbearable. You returned.
Same accent.
Presented the documents to the High Council, and Lou, not a member of the High Council, was he got kicked out again along with Fangmouth. But the High Council looked at their signatures and they went, "Yeah, I mean that's our signatures. We signed it. I would know my signature anywhere." And so they just kind of went along with it. And as far as Imperial occupations went, it was relatively steady. Stormtroopers didn't fit underneath the mountain as well. The ore was a bit too hard to mine, so there was a lot of cooperation needed to extract all the resources, which they had an abundance of anyway, so it didn't affect their quality of life too much. And the resources went on to create horrible weapons of mass destruction that killed millions elsewhere, but on the planet of Lagobah, things weren't too bad. And that's the end. Oh, also the cave trooper, he chewed his own leg off. They were like
Drinking his own pee immediately.
They offered to like use the guano because it's a good lubricant to get his foot out. They're like, we can just pull it right out, or we can cut around the rock and get you out. He's like, no, I got to do it this way, and he insisted on chewing his own leg off.
I gotta follow my training.
And that's the end of that story. And mostly that's as far as Clumsy and Randoms go, that was a pretty happily ever after.
I love it.
Thank everybody for playing. Evan, what are you gonna do with the rest of your life?
I'm gonna go to Disney World.
Kurt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And James, tell us everything you want our listeners or viewers to know about you or anything.
I created the University of Coruscant podcast. It is a podcast that has 3 seasons out, and the 4th season is an endless project which may or may not ever be finished. So it is a podcast about it's an all in universe thing about a washed up holodrama actor that now teaches for the University of Coruscant and gets into various hijinks along the way. But it is 15 minutes apiece and all in universe, and it's a blast to make. So there's that. And the diplomat definitely went back to Coruscant and had secretly invested in the commodities of that particular guano and ended up retiring a trillionaire on Scarif.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's going to do it for this episode of Clumsy and Random. Thanks again, everybody, for participating. Extra thanks to if you're hearing my voice right now somewhere, we appreciate you listening. That's going to do it. Go to JodoCast places for more things like this. Bye.